Hi, my name is Nick Arandes in another episode of Healing Together, and today we're going to talk about relationships. And it's interesting because that question comes a lot in regards to how to relate, what a relationship is, or what is the purpose of so. Well, what I usually say is that it doesn't matter. Relationship simply takes place because it's part of an experience that we seems to be having as a result of believing that I am a separate separate entity, a separate self, right? What is important is the purpose of the relationship. In other words, if the purpose of the relationship is to experience pleasure, if it's to derive something from it, I will always experience suffering. And the reason is because the motive behind it is the belief that if I can acquire or have or I don't know, attain, I don't know the word, that particular relationship, I'm going to feel happy, I'm going to be fulfilled, or whatever the case may be. However, if the purpose of the relationship is to remember who I am, then what happens is that the relationship, like every relationship, is always going to bring up the obstacles to love, the obstacles to peace. And that's the reason why many people, when their values are based on worldly values, thinking that I want a relationship for what I think I'm going to derive from it, when things don't get too comfortable, usually they split. They split because that person is failing to give me what I want, which is to be happy or whatever it is that I think I want. Now, if I am conscious enough to realize that the relationship is orchestrated so that I can liberate myself, then it's very paradoxical because the purpose of the relationship is not that we can be together forever or until death do us apart or whatever. The purpose actually of the relationship is to let go of it. It's just like, first I want to get together with this person so that I can release it. Now, the releasing is not necessarily a physical release. What I mean by that is that it doesn't mean that letting go of my relationship means that I'm going to have to divorce the person or that I have to walk away from the relationship. That if that happens because it's the best for the awareness of remembering who you are, well, that will take place naturally. That's nothing we can do about it. But when I use the relationship for the purpose of looking at all the obstacles so that I can heal, and I have other videos that I talk a little bit about surrendering and on what is or whatever that can help a little bit on this subject. Then I can let go of the relationship while I'm still together with it. And the difference is that now I'm not expecting anything from the relationship. I'm not looking for something in the relationship. I'm simply having a relationship, a true relationship with myself, with not myself as a person, with the self, with the love that I am. And from that space is how I start to relate with whoever I'm with. And that doesn't matter whether it's spouse or family, friends, or whatever. So I am relating from that space. In that sense, I don't need anything from anyone, and therefore I don't have the need to seek for a relationship. At the beginning, it appears to be that I needed the relationship, but in reality, that's exactly what was happening because there's still this idea that I'm incomplete. So therefore, the relationship starts like that, and there's chemistry, and there's all these things that we feel or whatever, but that eventually is going to go away because the purpose of that was to bring these two parts together, not so that I can stay together, but so that I can remember that who you are is not the different parts. Who you are actually is the whole itself. So it's like this part represents a minute part of the whole. This part represents a minute part of the whole, and the whole is paying it's putting their attention through the parts. So the whole believes to be a part. The whole believes to be a part. And now these two parts is the whole encountering itself, right? And again, this encounter takes place because the whole believed to be incomplete, because he believed that it's a part. This is a little part. But then when the relationship takes place, in the experience we're talking about as a person, takes place that I get together with another person because I want something from it. Again, I want to experience my wholeness, and I think that experience will take place when I join with this other person. That's the motives of every relationship. That's what we call falling in love, which is not true. You're not falling in love. You're just being attracted to something because you're coming from a place of incompleteness. But again, we call it love, and that's why the word love is being so distorted. In reality, it's incompleteness, or the illusion of incompleteness, meeting the illusion of incompleteness and now trying to complete itself, and it's impossible because they have what is called a body. A body is nothing but the limits that I have placed onto the whole. So the body that I think I am, not that I am, that I think I am, with another body that I think I am, trying to join. You see, and it's frustrating because it's impossible. Two bodies cannot join, but one mind can join. And that's when we begin to realize that who we are is the whole. Now there's no need to join the bodies. Now there's a release because the bodies play no importance anymore. Now all that there is the love itself, and that's the love, the dance that appears to be taking place between this body and all these bodies, that has nothing to do with physical experience. Again, it has to do with an inner peace that takes place, and that's what you transmit to whatever you're in contact with. So let's not confuse love with physical contact. It's not what I'm talking about. Love is the experience of wholeness. Everything that takes place in the form is the belief in separation. And what we're doing is now, through a place of complete surrender, to become aware that we are the experience, the whole, and not the part of it. And that's what it means by feeling free, a liberation. And this example, we can take it to all different areas of our life. If I believe that I'm a body and then I feel that I'm afraid of getting sick, well, of course, the fear doesn't come from the sickness. It comes from the belief that I am a body and that could die. But in reality, who I am is the experience, the wholeness itself. When I'm aware of that, then I can even laugh at whatever experience is taking place. Relationship with money. I try to pursue money because I think money is my source of life, is my source of security, in the same way that the experience of the relationship, I think, is the source of my love. Once again, once you realize that you're the space, the experience itself, then money and bodies and experiences in the world are just simply dancing images that has nothing to do with who I am. And that's what we're doing, remembering constantly who I am. And the best way to remember who I am is by being conscious of who I am not. So again, but going back to relationships, it doesn't matter why you're together, or let's say, or how you ended up together, it's irrelevant. What's important is that if you want to be able to free yourself, the relationship gives us the greatest gift to expose all the obstacles to love so that they can be healed, so they can be forgiven, or whatever the word you want to use. As a result of that, then, it's not about the relationship, it's the purpose that I have for that relationship. Is the purpose, once again, is to find someone who makes me feel in a particular way, or seeking pleasure or whatever, then I would say this conversation we're having is useless. It doesn't make it, it's not really, it's not going to lead you anywhere. But if the purpose of a relationship now is used for the higher purpose, which is to remember who you are, then whoever you're with is exactly who you need to be with, because that is the perfect opportunity that life is presenting you so that you can remember who you are through the experience of looking all the obstacles that you're not. What are the obstacles that will show up in a relationship? Well, could be jealousy, could be fear of being lied to, of losing the person, of not thinking, you don't know if you feel what you think you should be feeling for that person, and all these kinds of junk that keeps circling around the two bodies, the experience of bodies, begins to come up to the surface so that they can be dropped away. In another video, I talk about when you begin to experience the desire to, or when there's the desire to remember who I am, who you are, whatever, all this debris, all this garbage begins to come up to be burned. That's what they call the Dark Night of a Soul or whatever. That's another video. You can check it out whenever you have time. But again, once again, what is important is what is the purpose of a relationship, and in that sense, what is the purpose of everything? The purpose is to remember who you are. You don't have a purpose in this life. There's no purpose here. This idea of I have a purpose in life is the reason why many people keep seeking for the rest of their life in a true state of unhappiness, because they think there's something I have to do. What is my purpose in life? What is my mission? If anything, we're going to use the word mission or purpose. Is very simple. To remember who I am. And who I am. What you are. What is? Love. Peace. Joy.